2006 Asian Karting Champion, 2007 Philippine Road Tax Max Champion, and the 2008 Formula BMW Pacific Scholarship winner, the first ever Filipino to win a Formula race in Europe. Mr. Marlon Stockinger is here.
No, let him say it himself.
No,
So
you
that
know
we-
what? Welcome to the booth, Sir Marlon.
Hello.
Let's just call him Marlon.
Yeah, we'll just go with Marlon because then
It's easier.
We're gonna keep murdering your name for the entire show.
Marlon
How is
Speed
it?
Racer.
How is it that you say your name?
Stockinger
Stockinger.
is the preferred way of saying it.
Okay.
Just to make it easier for everyone.
Because we had Mr. German Phil Swiss, fellow of your Moby Nick, getting all German on us. Stockinger.
That's what we're talking about.
Whatever.
You're saying it wrong. I was just trying to be
He
helpful.
can't say it the right way. I
Alright.
think better than me even. So.
Which is kind of sad,
I
but
was just
okay.
trying to be helpful.
Well, Stockinger is fine. It's a lot easier for all
yeah.
of us. All right, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank
I
you.
understand that you got here in record time.
Yes.
Yeah, you were supposed to. You got here in 10 minutes from Alabang, I hear.
Yeah, 10 minutes thanks to the new Skyway.
Damn. I heard you're pushing your car to some sort of limits.
It
as well.
was a push.
Your friend had to go down for a cigarette. He was a little shook up, man. Here you go, 220. Here we have, obviously, you're into cars. You're a big race car fanatic. Where do you get this enthusiasm in cars? Is it from your father?
I'd say it just comes with the nature of motorsport. I guess anyone who's in such a sport has like a certain kin to cars in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really understand like automobiles itself really that well, but I know let's say my racing car is pretty good.
All right.
Just with normal cars, it's like okay, that's what it is. But with racing cars, like it's my profession and my life, so I have to know what I'm dealing with.
Jesus.
When was the first time you experienced racing? You saw racing cars.
The first time I experienced it was when my dad brought me to the go-kart track when I was like 9 years old. And
This was here.
This was here in the Philippines, yeah. And before that, I had no clue about racing. I was just a normal kid going to grade school or whatever you do at that age. and
Can't even remember. So long ago. Yeah.
We're more worried about Power Rangers or something.
Yeah.
Suddenly, my dad decides to bring me to the racetrack, and the rest is history. And
Wow.
I'm where I'm at right now.
Just like that, huh? I understand you grew up here in the Philippines, right?
Yes.
And you left just recently when you were around 17?
Yeah,
Is that
17.
So, marunong mag-Tagalog?
Oo naman.
Oo naman.
Yun.
So, diretso na tayo sa pinaka-importanting question.
Sige.
Totoo ba tong basta driver, sweet lover?
lover.
Yun ang tanong, di ba?
Hindi, basta racer, kailangan seatbelt.
Curveball yun, ha? Hindi ko na-expect yung
Hindi ko
sagot
na-expect
yun.
yun, ah.
Hindi ko na-expect yung sagot
Siguro,
yun. Alright, you know what? Good deflection. I'm not even going to ask you again. We're going to get to that a little bit later on, okay? But obviously you did move to the UK when you were... UK, right? I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken?
initially I moved to the UK, and then after I came back to Switzerland because it was a more comfortable base for me because now I'm doing the European series and using Switzerland as a hub, you're like an hour flight from all the European racetracks.
Oh,
And
alright.
I have more like family there as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So you started off like okay. A lot of the racers that I know that I've heard of, they started off in karting,
Yes.
right? And this is where you started as well.
Yeah, I started in go-karts and then like progressed through the ranks.
Yeah.
And then at one point you decide when to go into race cars, and you can only achieve so much in certain categories, and we decided to move on eventually like when I was 16 or something, initially like to do testing and feeling it out. And then after that we decided to go fully with it.
Man, I've tried karting once, dude. In my life.
I've never tried.
I've
And
tried
I'm like,
karting once.
How hard could it be, dude? Those things don't look so fast, and it's just like driving a car. And I feel like I'm a decent driver. I drive in Metro Manila all the time, dude. Galing ko sumingit sa EDSA. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I hit the freaking like the tire barriers like maybe 5 times. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah,
But
well-
it's difficult. A lot
Well,
more
it's good for
difficult
you.
than
You got a decent go kart. I had one in Subic. I rode one in Subic, and they're like, "Oh, go karts! I want to try this." And they were really slow. You just fall asleep, right? Maybe I picked the oldest one. I can see like little girls slapping me. Like, oh, okay, this is not good.
weight limit ata.
Ah, maybe you were making the go-kart.
You're onto
slow.
something. You're onto something. Right.
But obviously, there's a lot that you guys have to. There's a lot of things that you have to analyze and process while you're driving. I mean, even if it's a slow car, like a go-kart, obviously that's a lot slower for you now. To me, at the time when I was driving it, it was like I was going, 100 miles per hour. But
Feels like we're gonna die.
yeah. But what are some of the things that you have to process every turn? Do you have to study and stuff like that? The racetracks. What goes through your head when you're gonna go into a race?
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that they think that it's like driving your own car.
Yeah.
In terms of racing, it's like, oh, I can just sit down, turn the wheel, and it will go where I want it to go.
Simple lang yan. Break, ganyan, diba?
Yeah, and it's actually not the case. I mean, racing is really, in itself, it's really a technical sport. So you have to do, let's say, your homework, you study racetracks, you look in the detail where the bumps are and stuff like this, and this all counts to how fast you can go around the racetrack. And let's say, for example, one thing I do when I'm driving is like I change the brake bias, and this is to control like how much percentage of the brake balance goes to the front or the rear, and then you can control that, and based on that you can brake more efficiently, or you can have less lockups on the front and stuff. And this is just one small aspect of the many things we do when we're driving.
Wow.
Here's one thing I want to know though. Matagal ko nang gusto malaman to.
Okay,
Mystery sa akin to. Because I have no idea about racing cars.
Yeah.
Matik ba to manual?
Manual pa.
So you use the shifter on the steering wheel, or
Yeah. So I have
Ah.
the clutch and the gears on my steering wheel.
Okay.
It's pretty weird actually, because in the beginning everyone kept stalling, and like apparently it's like a bad omen if you stall the first time. So if you can get it right and go off, apparently you'll have like a good season and stuff. And I managed to get it off the line, but with 20,000 revs, just like left. But
We still made it, dude.
yeah, I still made it.
So,
It was really like
it's
I was
still a good
sweating,
omen, man.
and but yeah, I got through it.
So, go ahead, Moby Dick.
No, I was just thinking, since he is racing, and I hear of a lot of race car drivers try different disciplines. Like in the U.S., Tanner Faust, who's a drifter, he tried rallying and Rally X and stuff. Are there any other types of racing that interest you, or the one you are in currently?
I think right now I'm just fully focused on what I do, simply because I think as a racing driver, technically, like ours is the most technical. You have to be so precise, and if you're drifting the car, that you're actually losing time.
Yeah,
because your car is sideways, and it's faster when it's going straight. So the way you drive the car is just completely different, let's say, to rally drivers, to what drifters do in terms of like reaction time and stuff. I mean, you need all aspects of that, but for us it's more specific in terms of being more precise. You have to be perfect as possible.
Jesus, man. This sounds a lot more complicated than when I first thought, dude.
You need to bring a calculator.
Yeah.
Precise.
Hindi ko nadala yung ano ko, yung pang-compute ko eh. But we do have Marlon here, but what people might not know about Marlon is you just recently turned 20.
Yeah.
You're a very young man. And you're getting into this, and you're very successful so far in what you're doing. Are there dreams of going into Formula One?
Oh no, of course. This is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Again, like where I'm at in GP3 is only 2 levels below where Formula One is.
Wow.
And
2 levels.
let's say if everything goes perfect, 2 or 3 years I can get to Formula One. But again, that's if everything goes perfect. And
So is there a team that you like?
Well,
is there a
obviously
dream
his
team?
I mean, if
Oh
I'm
no,
in any
for
team,
Formula
to be
One. For
honest,
Formula
like,
One. For Formula
For
One.
Formula One, I think they're all really good. So far, I really like Red Bull, just simply because they allow their drivers to really race each other, and I think as a team that allows them to push each other, and I think that's why they have the advantage right now.
That's where the youngest world
Sebastian
champion.
Sebastian
Yeah,
Vettel.
yeah.
He's really a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Oh, you've met him?
Yeah, I've met him recently.
Awesome,
and
awesome.
It's just really humbling to meet such a.
How young was he when you won the?
He was 23.
23.
Yes.
Man.
Jesus Lord, man.
So you only have 3 years.
Yeah.
So that
but-
guy's like 2 years older than I
I'm
am.
gonna go home.
Marlon's 1 year younger than I am.
I'm gonna go home and cry in a corner because I'm the same age as him and I've achieved nothing in my life.
Well, you are a DJ who people love.
Okay, fair enough. All right. We're gonna talk more with Marlon in just a while. We're gonna get to some music here. There's still plenty to talk about with Marlon Stockinger here, race car champion driver, hanging out till 2 in the morning on a Rocket Thursday. We got Penguin Prison with the song